Hello and welcome to the Flory Models Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 28th of June 2024 after a very warm week here in the UK. To be honest, doing this type of work under studio lights, two computers in here and blazing sun trying to get in, it's been one of those ones. I could have picked a better week to be sanding and filling. That's all I'm going to say. And to be honest, I have been sanding and filling a hell of a lot, but we have made really good progress on with the actual Halifax. It's pushing along, and I think now the light is definitely not at the end of the tunnel. It's bright and blaring now, so I think we've pretty much got past all the problems. Lots of cosmetic things to do, but we'll show you a little bit about that a little bit later on. Anyway, it all started on Monday with part 3 of the actual Halifax build. So again, it's one of those things we were saying, it's test fitting and that. So it seems like a long time ago this, because actually I filmed it about 2 weeks ago, but we've moved on so much since then. But this was the days of making up. So we made up some bulkheads, we got those fitted into it, and really just trying to get it together as best as we possibly can. So we had a lot of stuff in there. We had, pretty much trying to shoehorn it all in. You can see we use a lot of plastic card shimming it all over this thing just to try and get it all back together. Once we got it roughly together, I needed to make sure that the clear parts were going to fit. So we cut them out roughly and we just did some testing just to make sure the widths were correct and things like that. So we were good with that. And then we had a little bit of a problem, which if you'd seen the daily vlogs and things like that, you would have known. I managed to, crush it, literally just doing a test fit, and it exploded in my hand, and we ended up with that. Never mind, we are modelers, so after a little bit of fettling and repair jobs, we managed to get it back together. And again, the clear parts aren't that far out. I think we can get away with those. So then we just turned our attention onto getting it all in there and getting it all together. So again, there's a few little issues, as you can see, like around the front. It really not fitting at all, and how we were going to go about those. So I ended up making up a very rough collar to go through, and that's one side fitted, still had the other side to fit in, and getting those all in. So anyway, that was basically part 3. Lots of scratch building, lots of sort of, working out how to get things to work and everything else like that. But there definitely was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel when we got that one done. So anyway, part 3 is up with you right now. You'll see part 4 shortly. Excuse me. Then on Tuesday, for the members, we had the review of the new Airfix Chinook up there. And again, it's one of those kits. It's typical now of Airfix. I think they're at a certain level now where we don't have to worry about them because they are producing some really nice kits. So this is the HC1 version. As I said in the actual review of this one, pretty much got everything you could ever want. It's only a 72nd scale, so it's not massive. So obviously there is some compromises with detail and the way that they've done it, which I totally accept and go right the way through. Nice touches with this one is obviously with the ramp at the rear. You've got a fully detailed cargo bay inside. All right, some nice little areas around there. Another nice touch with this kit, it does come with both the sand filter on the engines and the normal mesh filters as well. So again, although not the most detailed, shall we say, they're definitely very nice. Some very nice options. Obviously Bravo November, probably the most famous helicopter in the UK these days, after Humphrey, but definitely sort of stalwart of the RAF since, back in, was it 1981 went into service, or 1980? So obviously saw service down in the Falklands, obviously a lot around in the Middle East as well. So yes, definitely very much. And now is at home in Cosford, I do believe. Again, a couple of nice options as well, so depending which one you want to do. Decals, really nice, straightforward, no problems with those at all. And again, it's got a nice mix. It's not fully riveted and all the rest of it, absolutely everywhere, but you've got some nice rivet detail where you need it and all those other areas. Looking at the layout, as I said before, I would expect there to be another version perhaps of the Chinook coming out, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, because they've obviously done the fuselages as separate bits. So, and obviously there's no sprue A. So that's the other clue to this one. But generally, you see surface detail is very nice right the way through. There's various holes you can open up. The only disappointment for me is that they molded it closed. But obviously, if you were doing something sling loaded or anything else like that, you might want to open up that bad boy, the hatch in the middle. Seats, as you can see, very nice indeed, and various details on the tail ramp. And obviously, he's got hundreds of aerials and all the various bits that are beautifully recreated and right the way through. So for a 72nd scale kit, I think it's pretty nice. Oh, and some nice droop on the old rotors as well. And so some nice details with those ones. But generally, I think very nice. My only downside to it is, and no one listens to me, but I'm going to say it anyway, is that why do manufacturers still insist on doing the clear parts right up to bulkheads? My point is one, you've got to worry about getting a glue mark in here. Secondly, if there is a fit issue, you've got no room for sanding on the clear part, clearly, not without making a right mess. Just take it back to the next area. Take it back with the doors molded onto it and various things, and maybe into other. Even if you've got to put a split down the middle up here to do it, I think that's an easier way to go right the way through, rather than persisting on about following the actual window lines and stuff like that, because it's way too close for modelers. All right. So, but apart from that, really, really nice kit, and definitely a must for anybody who's into the old Waka Waka fan or a Chinook fan. So you'll absolutely love it. Wednesday was me with the daily vlog, ramblings of me complaining about the kit probably and all the rest of it. We were talking about obviously some of the fit issues we've been having and a little bit more in-depth work, plus the fact all the usual bits and pieces when I do the daily vlog as well. So as you say, the ones on Wednesday, I tend to break them up into 2 or 3 parts. So it's a 2-parter on that one as well. Then over last night, it was me and Matt. So yes, it's the usual things of us, and Matt looking very colourful in his summer uniform right the way through. And we covered some really good topics last night. So we were talking obviously about the new releases and the various things coming out, sorbet tops and everything that Matt's wearing. I was obviously discussing how we were getting on actually with the actual Halifax and the various things like that. And obviously Matt was discussing how he sort of lost his mojo for it all at the moment. And that's pretty much normal for pretty much, I think, everybody. Even I get it sometimes and everything else. And I've been doing this solidly as a full-time job for the last 20 years. So yeah, it's one of those ones really where it's like, you know, it comes and goes sometimes, your mojo. And at the moment with Matt, it's a little bit down. But there is things going on in the background. There's big changes coming. So Matt's working on that behind the scenes, currently sort of full-time. So, but that'll be released, the information on that in around about 2 weeks. But anyway, we had all of that on there, and we were discussing, obviously, we do have now in, if I can find the picture of the rack, where's the picture of the rack? Come on, where is it? In here somewhere. There we go. We do have the new rack with all the ones. There's the old rack with all the Tamiya paints in it. There we go. So we got all the new real colors. They're going to be released on the PM store tomorrow. They're going to be available tomorrow. We'll talk about them all about that in a little minute as well. But anyway, then we were talking about the latest releases. So we say we got the new Quinta tie-in with Zvezda. So you've got that gorgeous Quinta stuff that's now available with those as well, and a few other little kits and things that are going around at the moment as well. So we've got the new MiG-35s. We've got the Stuart as well, the early one. We're still not too sure that Nigeria's got flocks of wildebeest flooding across the plains, but apparently they've got them in zoos. But anyway, some nice options with that particular kit down there as well. We were talking about milling machines and lathes in general, and how I'd love to learn how to weld properly and use you know, various tools and various equipment. And then obviously last up, we got the HIMARS by Meng. This is 1/72nd scale. That's the thing I think it's taken a lot of people by surprise, because everyone thinks by default it's 35th scale. It's not. And we were discussing that we've missed probably all of their other releases in 72nd as well. And obviously we're talking about some new releases like the new Airfix Chinook light boat that is out now, and all the other goodies and various things that are going on at the moment. So if you do want to catch up with that show, don't forget it's free to watch. Anyone can watch it. You can have a look now. It is up on social media. And that brings us bang up to date, really. We got part 4 of the Halifax build. You see, moving along very nicely in this particular part. As you say, we decided that's it, we're done. We're going to get the paint on it before we go mad. So we got the interior green in there. Then we actually got it masked up and we got the black in there. So that's all looking very nice indeed. And then we go through the motions of dry brushing and weathering. So we use a little bit of everything down in here. We've got some oils, we've got some weathering pencils as well, really just to bring it all to life and get it to going. Instrument panel's horrible, so we decided that we would actually use some old decals that I've got kicking around. I can't remember who makes them now. Who's the company behind these? I had them here. Oh, I've now lost them out of the way, sorry. But yes, so we use some very old decals from those ones. I think it's afterburner decals down in there as well. And again, we use them to put them in the dials, as you can see, right the way through. And then we gave them a coat of PVA glue over the top, just to give them that glass look right the way through. And once it was in, I think it looked pretty nice, actually, all in there. So with all of that done, we could turn our attention to button this up. So again, multiple ways of doing it, but I decided to do it the old spot weld. So we used CA glue to tack weld it all into place. And then once that was in and we were happy of how it's all lined up, then we actually went in with some thicker glue. So in this case, we used Contactia right the way through, just because it works very well with this type of plastic as well. And then we got that all glued up and then held into place, as you can see, right the way through. So anyway, that is part 4 with you, and it is up with you right now, and currently she's looking a little bit like this. So it's all together, we've checked it, and we're happy now. So as I say, we've got this on. I've just polished these up right the way through. So again, we use multiple fillers down in here. So we actually use styrene strip and use that as a filler. Then we came along with some good old-fashioned sprue goo or melted styrene sheet, and we use that right the way through it as well. And then eventually we've sort of got it together and looking very, very nice. So for this now, it's going to have a full rub down all the way through it, and then we're going to rescribe it and we're going to rivet the entire thing up as well. So hopefully that will be coming together very nicely. You can see all about that, which is going to be up in part 5, which for members, that will go up with you on Monday. And I've just been gluing together the actual engine nacelles on. To be honest, they're not a bad fit. They're actually not too bad at all. Once we've done a little bit of test fitting, as always, this one on this side, it needs gluing on this side yet. It's only glued on one side. So again, coming along very, very nicely with this one. Again, then once this is done, hopefully on Monday, I'll be able to get a couple of hours in and we can get this one rescribed and we'll get it riveted as well. So I'm hopeful by the end of next week, we'll have it together. It'll probably be together and it'll be into the primer stage. We've got the gear all done. We've got the tails all done, all the rest of it. We just literally got to get the nacelles sorted onto this side of it then, get the sprue, the actual wing spars into this. We'll make out of some styrene strip, and then obviously we can get it fitted together. So yeah, definite light at the end of the tunnel. I know a lot of you have been following along this one, even if you're not members. It's a love-hate build. You know, I'm loving doing it. I'm just hating all the mess that goes with it because it is really, really messy. But and again, this week, because of the heat, I've got my apron on. It's like, yeah, not nice at all. But the light is now shining through the tunnel. We're over the worst of it. We're basically back now to what a normal model is, and that's the point. But again, one of those things with it, we're talking about mojo on last night's show and things. This could be a real mojo sapper, but actually for me, it's worked the other way. I've thoroughly enjoyed the challenges that have come with building an awful kit. Let's face it, I can't put a sort of spin on this. It's not very nice. But the thing is with it, what it's enabling you to do is stretch your skills a little bit, and it's patience and time. And with patience and time in modeling is one thing that hopefully you've got a bit of, and nothing is not achievable then. So again, this was awful. We had the trouble with the fuselages being different on each side. We have that weakness in the kit, which I'm happy to say is solid now by putting formers into it right the way through. It's a good solid kit now and all the rest of it. So again, it's one of those ones, just taking your time, building it up, working on other bits and pieces, coming back, letting filler dry, which is crucial to this. I speak about it a lot on part 5 as well, especially if you're using heavy duty glues such as Contactia takes a while to dry and to completely go hard again. And obviously if you're using sprue glue, which I've got videos up all about how to make it, it's great because it's easy to sand, it's easy to rescribe, and it's great for riveting on, but you need to give it probably 3 days for it to totally go off, because otherwise what happens is with most fillers it's working the same way, but any type of weld action glue, you're softening the plastic, and as it dries it shrinks, and if you get ghost seams on it, and to be honest that's why we use sprue glue right the way through here. And in fact, as you'll see on Monday's part, we actually used a little bit of talc and talc and super glue as a filler, and we pop that in some of the little sinkholes and things like that just to make sure it's nice and solid and it's not going to happen. And it's just one of those things. Time, take your time, enjoy the process. You know, say if you're not enjoying it, put it away, put it out of sight, work on something else, or just get your mojo back, then come back to it, because you do need to be into a good state of mind, just enjoying it, get some music on, perhaps a podcast, a film or whatever in the background, and just work on one of these and it will come to life, and then hopefully you end up with something that you're going to be really proud of at the end of it. And to be honest, this is going to be on one of my top 5 builds of all time. I can see it already. We ain't even probably halfway through yet, but enjoying it thoroughly, and that's the point of the hobby. Anyway, couple of things going on. Obviously, PM Store has got the new color paints in. They're not up on the website yet, but they will be very, very shortly. Wrong button. There we go. So at the moment, we just got the last of the old ones. That's going to disappear tomorrow. So if you want to grab any of this stuff, grab it right now. Also, up in the special offers areas, we spoke about it last night. We've just got the Gladiator there for the moment with the crew. And obviously, we've got the JU88P, the Tank Buster version with the massive cannon. Again, that's on there. And the Pigment Jockeys. This is all going to change, I think, tomorrow morning when we got different specials going up for a special show that we're doing tomorrow, which we're going to be live with you. So if you do want anything from down in here, those ones, grab them now, because it's all going to change tomorrow. And as I say, the actual real colour section, This is the old one. It's going to change to the new one because you've seen it. We've got them up there now. We still will have some of these left over, but looking like we're going to be just switching straight over into the new ones right the way through. So if you want to get any of those ones, as always, just pop along to the pmmodelsuk.com store and you can get full details down below just in there. So don't forget, we are going to be live with you tomorrow morning, 10 till 12. It's the usual sort of Saturday morning club. But do a little bit of modelling, answering your questions. Obviously, the Flory Model chat room will be open and live. And obviously, we will be live on YouTube chat as well. So if you've got any questions you want to poke up to us, you want to share any pictures and that, don't forget, just tag us on Instagram and we can see your photos and show them up on air as well. And we'd love to have you along for that. So please join us 10 o'clock in the morning. We haven't done the gallery for a few weeks because we've been catching up with some of the D-Day builds and then obviously the one before that from the 1944 SIG. So again, we've got a fantastic gallery section for you right now as well. So that's it from me for today. Happy modding. Take care. Hope to see you 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted.